Dan.
And I'm Landon.
And we're here to read and discuss the Bible. And today we are at the final part of chapter 8, part 3.
All right.
And we're going to be reading today from verses 42 to 59.
It was a super cliffhanger
It
last
was.
episode.
It was a super cliffhanger. But we're reading in the New King James.
Yeah.
There's some links down at the bottom in the comment, not in the comment, in the description. For the New King James, you can read along with us. And there's some other versions of the Bible. You can click on there, and from there, there's like 70 different versions. I don't know.
Yeah.
I say 70. There's a lot of different
versions.
versions. You can just click on whichever one you like.
Yeah.
They even have Chinese version.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't read it, but it's on there. But we would really appreciate it if you would subscribe at the top.
Up there.
And also thumbs up at the bottom.
Thumbs up right there. Hit it. Mash that button in.
Yes. And then also leave some comments down in the bottom in the comment section.
Below that.
And there's some links in our description of our church and some things about. Just click on them. You'll see.
Yeah.
You'll like it. I'm sure you will. But now, if they haven't seen video number 1 or 2, how about if we put a link to number 1 on your head?
All right. 1 right here on my face.
No, on your head.
On my head.
On your face?
Right here. I can feel it. Ah.
And number 2 on my head.
Right there.
All right, that's gone. But anyway, so you should really go and watch the first 2 parts. You need to watch the first 2 parts so you know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So we're going to pick up in verse 42. I will say, verse 41. It says that they said, Jesus said, "You do the deeds of your father," and he was talking about the devil.
Yeah.
And they didn't understand that he meant the devil. And they said to him, "We are not born of fornication. We have one Father, God." And then we went, dum, dum, dum. That was the end of 2. Right?
Yep. Super cliffhanger. And now we're on to part 3.
Jesus said to them, "If God were your Father, you would love me. For I proceed forth and came from God. Nor have I come of myself, but he sent me."
Yeah, so basically saying, if you were God's children, then you would love me because I'm your brother, because I'm his son.
That's right. You think they like that?
Nope.
No. "Why do you not understand my speech? Because you are not able to listen to my word."
Yeah.
It's like talking to somebody who has no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Now, these are supposed to be, the people he's talking to right now are not just the average people. They are like the high up bosses.
Yeah.
The bosses of the bosses as far as priests.
Yeah.
Not priests, but as far as like rabbis, the teachers of the
whatever.
law.
Yeah.
And he's like, you don't know. You don't know nothing.
You don't understand anything.
You don't understand what I'm saying.
Right.
And Jesus brought these words down to where anybody could understand them.
Yeah.
But he's
they
like,
didn't understand.
He say, "You are not able to listen to my word. You don't understand what I'm saying."
They can't get past the law that they've learned all their life to try to understand what he's saying.
Now he tells them. Remember, we've been saying all the time. He was saying that they're of the Father, their Father,
Their Father,
not their. Jesus talked to them spiritually.
Yeah.
They didn't get that. He never talked. Well, he did talk to them about. He did talk to them about earthly things, but a lot of times he was talking spiritually. Now he spells it out. You are of your father. Your is italicized.
Yeah.
The devil.
Dun, dun, dun. Welcome to part 4. Not really. It's just a joke.
And the desires of your father you want to do.
Wow.
Now, the devil wanted to destroy God. Well, he said he wanted to be, he wanted to send himself up above God and be like God. And basically, after he was thrown out of heaven, he wanted to do anything he could to deceive people from being away from God.
Right.
He was a murderer from the beginning and does not stand in the truth, because there is no truth in him. Your father.
Their father.
Their father. Their father. When he speaks a lie, he speaks from his own resources, for he is a liar and the father of it. Have you ever heard anybody say he's a liar and the father of all lies?
Yeah, that's where
the
it's
devil
from.
will use anything that he thinks can get you to do what he wants. He'll lie to you and tell you part of the truth, but you have to know when the devil talks to you, if it has a little bit of his, whatever he thinks in it, it's a lie.
Yep.
And he says, he speaks of his own resources, and his truth is not in him. But because I tell you, you do not believe me. Which of you convicts me of sin?
Wow.
So now he's getting to the root of their matter, which is, okay, you don't believe me because you believe your father, the devil. You don't believe me, but who of you convicts me of sin?
Right.
Because that is the only thing they had to lord over the people, is you're all sinning. You're all sinners. You're all going to hell unless you do what
we say.
Which, that's the law that God gave them. You know, gave them the 10 Commandments, and then they added things to it, and added things to it, and added things to it. So there was, of course, if you obey the first commandment to have no other gods before God, and love your neighbor as yourself, Jesus himself said,
those are the best
that's
commandments.
It. That's all you have to do right there. And when you do those two things,
you do everything
You do
else.
all the other commandments. But these guys have made up all kinds of things.
Right.
And Jesus himself said those two things. Love the Lord thy God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength, and your neighbor as yourself. And everything else falls in line. You do those two things. So he's saying here, which of you condemn me for sin?
Right. Who says I've
done sin?
Who says I'm sinning?
Which one of you say I've done sin?
Yeah.
And if I tell you the truth, why do you not believe me?
Right.
So he's saying, who can tell me where I've sinned?
Right.
If I haven't sinned, why do you not believe what I have to tell you?
Right.
If I have no sin in me, why do you not believe me when I tell you the truth? Because obviously if he told them a lie, he would have sin.
Yeah.
Right? If he was preaching against adultery and he was caught in adultery, there would be no grounds to believe him.
Right.
If he was caught in sin, he's caught in a lie, then he would have no truth in him. Why believe him? But he's saying, which of you have a sin? Who convicts me of a sin? Lying is a sin.
Right.
So why do you not believe me? I'm telling you the truth. He who is of God hears God's word. Therefore you do not hear, because you are not of God.
Yeah. So he's telling them, you can't even know if I'm doing a sin or not.
You can't know if I'm telling you the truth because you can't hear from God.
You can't know that I'm telling a lie.
Right. You can't prove me one way or another. You can't come up with a sin that I've done, so you know that I'm telling you the truth.
Yeah.
But you can't believe me because you can't hear from God.
Right. You can't know anything.
He was driving them to the edge. Just getting them. Then the Jews answered and said to him, do we not say rightly that you are a Samaritan and have a demon? They're asking him, do we not say rightly that you are a Samaritan and have a demon? Jesus answered, I do not have a demon. It's like, what you talking about, Willis? For those that are my age or older, you remember that show.
Or if you're my age and you have a dad that's that age.
But I honor my father, and you dishonor me.
Wow.
And I do not seek my own glory. There is one who seeks and judges. Most assuredly, I say to you. There's that most assuredly.
Yep. That means listen close, because I know that what I'm telling you is true.
If anyone keeps my word, he shall never see death.
Whoa.
He's saying, I know this to be true. And you haven't, he's saying, I have not committed any sin. You don't have any sin to pull on me, and I'm telling you the truth.
Right.
Then the Jews said to him, now we know that you have a demon. They know it now.
That's what they think.
Abraham is dead and the prophets, and you say, if anyone keeps my word, he shall never taste death. Are you greater than our father Abraham, who is dead, and the prophets are dead? Who do you make yourself out to be? Now, I don't understand these people.
They're saying, who do you think you are?
How many times have they said that? Just in this chapter.
A bunch of times.
Like, I don't know, 3, 4 times. Who
Yeah.
are you?
Who do you think you are?
Who you think that you are? That's right. That's funny.
Right.
Who do you think you are?
Yeah.
Who are you? Jesus answered, if I honor myself, my honor is nothing. It is my Father who honors me. God the Father.
Yeah.
That they didn't understand. Of whom you say that he is your God. All right, now he's told him outright. He keeps saying about his Father.
Yeah.
He keeps saying, my Father sent me, and I do what my Father says, and they not getting it. They keep saying, well, our father is Abraham. And he said, if your father was Abraham, you do what your father says to do, but I do what my father says to do.
Now he says, he finally gets it to him.
Yeah,
he says,
it is my Father who honors me.
Okay,
now they still ain't got it. It's my Father who honors me. Maybe they thought Joseph.
He says that it's his Father that they call their God.
That's right. So he's telling them right now. Okay.
Every single time I've said my Father.
Let's get down to the skinny.
It's the person you call your God.
Okay. Maybe they don't know what the skinny means. Let's get down to brass tacks. Well,
maybe they don't know what that means either.
Let's get down to the plain truth. Every time I said my Father, it's who you think your God is.
Yep.
You think they like that?
Not really.
I don't think so.
I don't think they liked anything Jesus said.
Well, some of them.
Well, not the priests. Not the ones in charge.
No, they weren't priests. They were rabbis.
Not the rabbis.
We're saying priests all the time, but we mean like head Jews.
Head Jews.
Head Jews.
The rabbis.
The rabbis. Yet you have not known him, but I know him. Now he's really at the point of almost insulting them.
Right.
Yeah, because he's saying these are the head guys, and he's saying that God is his Father.
The person they call their God.
You have not known him, but I know him. And if I say, I do not know him, I shall be a liar like you.
Oh. Whoa.
Just slap him.
Yeah. Again. Slap him all the time.
But I do know him and keep his word.
Yep, because up there he had said, you can't figure out that I did any sin.
Yeah.
I keep my Father's word.
Your father Abraham rejoiced to see my day, and he saw it and was glad. Because, God considered Abraham to be righteous, so obviously Abraham didn't go to hell.
Went to heaven, yeah.
Well, I mean, even in paradise, they call that the bosom of Abraham, which was paradise. So Abraham was looking forward to the day when Jesus would then basically be able to draw all men to God by something much easier than the law.
Right.
Because
there was no law in Abraham's day.
The law was there to really protect the people.
Right.
The law was there to say, okay, this is how you get right standing with God. Mm-hmm. But they couldn't do it.
Right.
So God sent Jesus the Son to be the sacrificial lamb. And it says that Abraham rejoiced in the day that Jesus basically came down.
Yeah.
Then the Jews said to him, remember, these are the higher up.
Yeah.
You are not yet 50 years old. Now, he would have been about 32.
Yeah,
somewhere along there. And have you seen Abraham? Because they knew the people in the Bible in the Old Testament, they lived Methuselah, 969 years old.
Yeah.
And I haven't done any study to see how long it was between Abraham and Jesus. But obviously they were saying a
long time.
A mathematical and age fact that everyone there could not dispute. They were trying, Jesus was hitting them with some hard facts here.
Yeah. They were like saying, you're young and
you're
no
like 32. How in the world could you have ever seen Abraham?
Right.
How can you say that Abraham rejoiced in you?
Right.
And Jesus said, most assuredly, here it goes again, most
listen
assuredly,
closely,
listen
what
closely.
I say, I know that I'm saying the truth.
Because out of all the things, here it comes. This is like the gotcha.
Yeah.
This is it.
The
this
final,
right here. This is the
knockout punch.
Oh, this got them. Oh, they were they were mad.
The straw that broke the camel's back.
So to say.
Whenever Moses was talking to the burning bush, and he said, well, whenever I go to Pharaoh...
he wasn't talking to the burning bush.
Well, when he was talking to God through the burning bush,
right.
He said, whenever I go to Pharaoh, who do I say sent me? And God says, I am has sent you.
Because they knew who I am was. And basically the one name that they knew, the one name these people knew
was I am.
Was I am. And he was saying, he's God.
Yep.
Jesus. That's how he was. Man, if this didn't get him, there was nothing.
Yeah.
There was nothing going to get these people more than saying that Jesus was God.
Yeah.
And when Jesus said that he was God, before Abraham was, he was.
Yep.
And the beginning of John says, in the beginning was the Word.
Yep.
Jesus was the Word. And Jesus was God.
And he was with God.
And Jesus was with God, and he was God. And nothing was created that wasn't created without Jesus.
Yep.
So Jesus knew his place.
Yeah.
He knew his place, and he knew this is like pushing their buttons.
Yeah.
It's like when you do something what you're going to tell them is the truth.
And they won't like it.
And they are not going to like this. But they were pushing him, and he was saying the truth.
Pushing back.
He was pushing back with the truth.
Yep.
He was not saying a lie. He was not saying something just to get them mad. He was saying before Abraham was, because they relied on Abraham.
Yeah.
They relied that Abraham was the father. Abraham.
Like him.
They couldn't keep their mouth shut about Abraham.
Right.
Jesus was saying before Abraham was,
I was.
I was.
Yep.
I am.
Jesus.
What does it say in verse 59? Last verse of chapter 8. And they took up stones. They took up stones to throw at him. But Jesus hid himself.
So he ran away.
And went out of the temple, going through the midst of them, and so passed by. They started taking up rocks to pound him in the head, and he just went right through them.
Wow. That's cool.
He was, I don't know about you, but if you're like in an open place, like in a church, and you're preaching, these people came out. This is the same chapter that was at the beginning of part 1. He came up early in the day, and these people came to see him, and there was all these people around him, and he's surrounded by these people,
and he's like preaching, and then
these leaders come.
The leaders come to him, and they're like yelling at
him, and then he's talking to them,
them,
and they're taking up stones, and he just walks right through them.
Yeah. That's really cool.
There's a couple times that this happened, that he just walked right through them. Because he knew that, he knew what God told him, that he wasn't going to get stoned, he was going to get crucified.
Yeah.
That's
how he had to go.
No, never mind to me, you pick up some rocks.
Yeah. I'll just go right through you.
I'll just go right through you.
All right.
Well, this has been a very exciting chapter.
Yeah.
Chapter 8 is like...
Yeah, really good.
A lot of words from God.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of words from Jesus himself. Right in the Bible there for you to read. We really hope that you enjoyed chapter 8, this 3-part. And we hope that you leave us some comments below to let us know what you're getting out of us talking and reading about the Bible.
Yeah. We
really love the Bible. We want to know what you think. We hope that this is helping you in some way, helping you get closer to God, Jesus, his son. And so we'd like to hear from you.
Yeah. Subscribe at the top.
At the top.
Like at the bottom. There. Like at the bottom.
Yeah.
Comments below that. And until next time, bye.
Have a blessed day.